This is the HVAC indoor air handler furnace evaporator coil video. These are your air return registers. This is your thermostat over here. So we do have a programmable thermostat. It is underneath an uninsulated attic access hatch. So the heat and cold that this hatch is going to allow into the living space is going to influence your thermostat. So your thermostat's what your thermostat thinks the temperature is that you set it to might not represent the temperature throughout the rest of the house. Okay, so the furnace is about 4 years old. They're engineered on paper to last about 20. So it's like in the first, third of its life. Las Vegas is going to give you 14. Las Vegas is going to give you 14 years. So it's in about the first, again, third of its life. Now, interesting thing about this one, well, not interesting, we do not have a care and use manual. The switch cover plate is missing. We do not have a thimble for our flue. And now this is the venting for the gas appliance. We're not supposed to have screens. Okay, going into the attic space. It's supposed to be clear space going into the attic space, and you're supposed to have a flue. This is your makeup air. Okay, this is the combustible air that's going to your furnace, and it doesn't, you can see the screws is missing. It used to go lower because your furnace is going to draw air from down here, not up here. Your furnace is going to draw air from down here. Alright, now another thing that's going on with this is that this door, since we're going to guess that the furnace is properly ventilated. Okay, we'll pretend. Alright, this door should be sealed, closed, because this is the return air. That's your air filter right there. So if any gas comes out, carbon monoxide escapes out of this door. It's closer than 10 feet to the furnace. It gets sucked up in your return air vent, gets broadcast up through the entire house, and everybody goes to sleep together. Everybody dies of carbon monoxide poisoning. I know it's a horrible story, but that's why we have that. This door is supposed to be insulated. Alright? This door is supposed to be insulated. The closet is supposed to be properly ventilated. Then on our evaporator coils, these are evaporator coils. Again, they're 4 years old. Engineered on paper to last 20. Las Vegas will give you 14. The 4 is less than a third, so it's it's fairly recent installation. Now, this is your primary evaporator drain line, and this is your secondary evaporator drain line, and you're allowed to do that if you have a safety switch. Some people call them float switches, and you got one. Okay, so you don't have to have a secondary drain line with that safety device if it's connected properly. I can't tell. Alright, but your primary evaporator drain line, now we have a primary instead of the evaporator drain line. This is the primary. It's supposed to have a P-trap in it, just like underneath your bathroom sinks, bathroom lavatories, just like underneath your kitchen sink. You're supposed to have a P-trap. We don't have a P-trap. This drain line is supposed to be insulated. It is not insulated. Okay, let's go on to venting. So that's heating, air conditioning, venting. And we've already talked about return air being too close. It takes a 16 by 25 air filter at this location. That mouse dookie, and the filter is filthy. And we'll also see, oh come on, I'm not here to tear it up, I'm here to inspect it, not to tear it up. This was common 60 years ago, 50 years ago, or whatever. Alright, but our flue, our return air plenum is not lined. It should be lined with a galvanized, should have been lined with a galvanized lately. By today's standards, it would have been supposed to have been lined with a galvanized liner or some other approved liner. It'd be nice if there was a float switch in there, a safety switch like that one up there. The switch isn't required, but it should have been lined. If this thing leaks, okay, I know we got a safety switch, I know we got a drain line, but if this thing leaks, it's going to go down on your floor. It's going to come out here. And so where all the floor's swelling right in there, more moisture gets in there, it'll do things like that. So it should have been lined. Again, this home probably didn't even have central air conditioning installed into it into sometime in the 60s. In the 60s it was, but I don't at that time it was a furnace, so it wouldn't require the safety pans for the air conditioning. So back in the 50s, when you had the furnace in here, safety pan is not as big a deal. And then all these rules were different in the 1950s. But when this was installed, the installer should have known to extend this. The installer should have known to insulate this door. Okay. Door doesn't close very good. Now, a message from our sponsor. So what do we learn? We learned that we don't have a thimble, that we got a screen in our roof. We learned that we don't have a care and use manual. We learned we don't have a P-trap. We learned the drain line's not insulated. We learned that our air filter is dirty. We learned that our door is not sealed. We learned that our return air is too close. Because the door is not sealed, our return air is too close. We learned that our thermostat is underneath an uninsulated attic door. I could have swore it's closed better than that when I got here. I said, do no harm.